Live. I'd like to call to order the August 26th, 2025 Columbia Borough Council meeting. Could I have a roll call, please?
Councilperson Kaufman.
Here.
Council President Zink.
Here.
Councilperson Stahl.
Here.
Councilperson Fisher.
Here.
Councilperson Murphy.
Here.
Councilperson Giese.
Here.
Councilperson Brigard.
Here.
Mayor Lutz.
Here.
Thank you.
All right. Did anyone care to offer an invocation? All right, if you'd like, please rise for a moment of silence. Councilperson Giese, would you like to lead us in the pledge? Sure. I
pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Right. Announcement of executive sessions. There were none. Are there any additions, deletions, or reorganization of the agenda needed? Not aware of anything. Could I have a motion to approve the agenda as published?
So moved. Second.
A motion by Councilperson Kaufman, second by Councilperson Stahl, to approve the agenda as published. All in favor?
Aye.
Anyone opposed? All right. Citizen comment, non-agenda items only. First sign up is Mary Wittenheiser.
Good evening. I'm here about cats, CATS, cats. TNR is not working in my opinion. When that started several years ago, the area where I live, as I was told, was the first area that was attempted. I had 7 cats on my back porch at one time. Right now, the other day I had 5 cats in my backyard. None of them had clipped ears. I know of at least 3 litters this year within the area where I live. My garden has turned into a litter box. I have a pine tree in my backyard, has little needles. My whole backyard's a litter box. I have a grass alley in the back of my house, one of those private alleys. I have a trail along my back fence, indented in that grass. I have an area where I store my boats. There's a path comes from that into the neighbor's yard with the cats and me. I had a bird bath I put out. I couldn't figure out why I didn't have any birds. It kind of sits a little low to the ground. They were using that for their water dish. It keeps getting upset. After it rains, I go out to be sure I empty it so it doesn't get upset and broken. We can't feed birds anymore. This is not working. And to allow people to feed them only encourages their presence. And that's what I have happening in my area. I have muddy footprints that come across my porch railing, go across my porch, up over the fence. It's not pleasant up there. My grandkids have walked up from my backyard and said, "Graham, it smells like cat shit here." Well, it should, because it's there. This is not working. I don't know what your solution is, but this allowing for colonies to be fed. Like I said, I know of at least 3 litters this year. It's not working. This was for comment. I'm not looking for anything back. Thank you for your time.
Mary, if I may, are you aware of anyone in your neighborhood that is feeding.
Yeah,
It's my understanding that if it's a feral cat and they're feeding them, they become the owner of that cat.
Mhm.
And they become culpable.
It is, in your ordinances, it is also a nuisance to feed a feral cat. So if you know of people that are doing that,
If we can get that
But I
information in
believe-
codes,
I believe we had where we talked about colonies being registered.
mhm.
Right. And if it's not a registered colony, we can cite them for it.
Well, I feel that it is.
so if you.
I feel this one is a registered colony. I'm almost sure because I talked to different people and I know there's been interaction with this person about different things by up at the shelter as well as the CCT.
But if it's a registered colony, they have to be trapping them and getting them spayed and neutered.
It's not,
Then,
Well, the problem is volunteers.
right.
that's
She
right.
can't
I
run out of
understand.
volunteers.
People are wearing out, but it's not sustainable
No, it's not.
in the matter in which it is.
Mathematically, it never was.
No,
But there is no other solution besides getting animal rights in here involved.
Well, we can look into it and possibly take some action.
I don't know.
I don't know what you can do.
Cats multiply.
No, but I'm saying they're feeding them, they become the owner, right, Evan? And
I don't think they become
and
the
it's a nuisance, and they're feeding
No,
them,
they do.
Yes.
that's citable.
yes, absolutely. Yes. If someone is feeding them, then that is something that can be cited as a nuisance because I think as Mary demonstrated, it becomes a nuisance very quickly when you're trying to attract these animals, so.
Thank you.
The next sign up is Tammy Jalbert.
Now I did it. I broke it. Hi, I am Tammy Jalbert. I am the Executive Director of the Columbia Animal Shelter. Hi, Mary. I am here to tell you that while it's not perfect, TNVR is trap, neuter, vaccinate. It's not relocate. So we're not relocating. Right. So the location that she is speaking of, and as well, we were made aware of it again this week. So we're trying to work with Paula and others, and we reached out this week, but you were not here. And so we are also aware of some situations and are willing, and we also have Liz here, who's been working with CCAT very closely. We're going to try to work on a solution for that particular area. So we are
Thank you.
aware of the issues. But I will say that the program for CCAT, while you were saying that it doesn't work, it has been working. They have trapped, neutered, and released over 500 cats
I understand.
from Colombia. So-
Don't get me wrong. I appreciate what they're doing.
I
really do.
understand, but if the program were to go away, you say that they multiply. Can you imagine how much they will multiply
But if we
if the
don't,
program goes away altogether?
but if we don't feed them, they have to
Right.
go somewhere else.
If you-
The problem is they multiply, cats are gonna multiply unless you get
Yes.
all 700 or whatever they assumed there was, unless you get every one of them, they're guaranteed to multiply. They multiply faster than they can be caught.
They multiply, and if they continue to multiply without being really trapped, neutered, and vaccinated, released, whatever,
Right.
if you do not get them neutered, they can make up to 4 litters a year times.
Right.
You will have, that 500 will be gone like we didn't do anything in a year. You
Well-
think the 500 you had, just imagine the problem that Mary was speaking of.
That's my
in-
point though.
Yes,
We
your
start-
point,
We started with an estimated 700 cat population. I think that was the number they used.
yep,
You've done over 500 of them,
yes,
which is blowing my mind away, applaudable.
yes.
But with the limited volunteers you have, there's no way mathematically that you can solve this problem.
We can make it a lot better than it would have been, because that 500, can imagine how many the 500 would have multiplied to. You'd have been talking 1,500. Think about it. Those litters would have made 4 litters more.
Well,
And those litters would have made more and more and more.
another big problem is
So.
there are still people that are releasing their cats, that are releasing them out in, or letting them roam in the streets.
It's not
That's-
just the part about being neutered. It's about
No.
releasing them, or the calls we get all the time. You wouldn't believe, I can't make up the stories. I'm sure that you've heard a lot of them. But I mean, we could write a book about the stories that we hear.
And I don't know what's done if someone registers a colony, who is making sure that the colony is being managed appropriately. It's one thing to say I have a colony and register it, but if I say that, I need to be responsible to do it right,
Right.
and someone needs to make sure that they are doing it right. Because I think in this case, if it is truly a registered colony, it's not being done appropriately.
Right. I don't believe that the issue that Mary is speaking of, I don't believe that that colony or that area is a registered colony.
Okay.
I don't believe that is a
Well, good,
registered
then,
colony. That's a
yep.
completely, I believe that's a different issue on a different level. And I don't want to go into it here,
Right.
but I believe that that is a completely different issue on multiple levels with the resident that you will be dealing with. So.
It was mentioned several times about volunteers working.
Yes.
Do you need a volunteer?
Very much so, yes.
So we can do something to get some information out, try to promote some volunteers.
That would be wonderful. Thank you.
You get something out, that's my goal.
We would appreciate that very much. Thank you. Thank you.
Oh, is that what you wanted to talk about?
Yes,
Oh, okay.
yes, we were
good.
here on the back part of Mary's to
Oh, okay.
let her know we were also here to help her and to let you know that it's bigger than just Mary's situation too. Thank you.
Good, thank you. All right, is there anyone that did not get a chance to sign up that would like to speak? Yes, Sharon.
I just wanted to ask Evan if he would clarify that, because the ordinance states that you can feed if you have a registered colony. And you're saying they can't feed them. So
It's not a registered colony, they can't.
well, I sort of think, well, it was supposed to be. I thought the paperwork went through for this particular one they're talking about. And I thought that annually, someone was going to be checking that to see that these colonies, and I don't understand why they still can't be cited, even if it's registered, if they're not following the guidelines that we set forth.
Well, they
for
should be,
feeding.
yes.
I'll read, it's very brief. Let me read you section 82-15 of the Code of Ordinances, which says, "It shall be unlawful for any person to continue to feed stray or feral cats where such feeding causes a nuisance to neighbors or creates a condition contrary to the health, safety, or welfare of the community, unless that person participates in a trap, neuter, and return program managed by the borough or a sponsor of the borough."
Mhm.
So it doesn't say anything about the registered. Now, obviously, if somebody is part of that registered colony, if they have registered that colony and they're part of CCAT or another organization that's doing this, then that's probably, it'd be hard, that's probably okay at that point. But if somebody isn't actively participating in any of that, then feeding them is not appropriate and could be. And I think even still, if it is causing a nuisance to the neighbors, then I think that's still a problem. A nuisance is a
Oh,
nuisance.
I agree,
regardless. Yeah.
especially if it's not being done
Right.
correctly. I mean, if
Correct.
somebody's sitting out huge amounts of food and leaving them out overnight.
Yeah.
Sorry, I butt right into
No,
this.
go ahead. That's what I was going to ask.
But
you.
I
So
just
who
wanted to-
addresses that? Who do we,
So that
Who
would
do we
be
address
Paula
that?
with codes. They would
Okay.
be the ones that would address that. Yeah.
and that's where we started then. Okay.
Yeah, I just thought when you first said about the feeding ordinance, or, yeah, not feeding, it didn't sound right to me, because we had worked to get the colonies, people monitoring them to be allowed to feed them as long as they weren't doing it the wrong way.
Yes.
So I just wanted to clear that up. Thank you.
Frank, you wanted to speak and didn't get a chance to sign up.
Good evening, Frank Daltrick. Do you mean to tell me that we're going to have our code people go after these people that are feeding the cats when we have so many other issues to deal with?
They've been going after them.
Well, something's not working according to Mary. So anyway, that's another issue, I guess, for later on. At the last meeting, there was a gentleman that spoke before me. I think it was Steve Rainier. He bashed council, he bashed the other people over the other desk, the Watchcom people. And Heather, you didn't say one word. Yet when I got up, you wanted to shut me down because I brought things up. I wasn't belligerent, I wasn't out of line. Where the Steve fellow was, you never said a thing to him. Why is it I excite you somehow that you got to pick on me to shut me down?
I wasn't trying to pick on you, Frank, but he was talking and he was walking out the door. So at that point, he's already exiting the area after he yelled. You stood up there, it well exceeded your 5 minutes, and continued to accuse and, not say things that were, that went against the civility and decorum. And that's why. It's not that you excited me or anything else. You exceeded the time and you continued to banter on the same things and were derogatory to staff and accusing people of doing things wrong. Without cause. So that's why. Had you been walking out the door and exited on your own, there would have been no issue, but you didn't.
That's the first I heard the 5-minute deal for a long time. How do you know that I exceeded my 5 minutes?
I think every one of us knew you exceeded the 5 minutes.
It's funny, nobody else
There's
said.
a clock right up there.
Oh,
And
is that
Frank,
what
I
you're?
did say, if you remember, I said, Frank, I have been very lenient with you on the 5 minutes.
I
And
don't-
you said, yes.
I don't remember
yes,
you
have
saying
been.
that. But it's just a matter of what I was saying is what I thought you didn't like. And I can say just about anything I want to say. As a matter of fact, I don't know if you're watching the clock or not, but I did some research on this, and it says here, a government body cannot use the pretext of disruption or personal attacks to silence criticism. I don't know if you're listening or not. Legal challenges have shown that. And I just, of all the years I come before the body here, you were the first one that I ever come before. And I'm a little bit like John Kennedy, the senator from Louisiana. He always stated, I don't hate anybody, which I don't either. There's some I dislike, but when I see something that's not right, I have to speak on it. Some of my questions that I got, glad to see you're here tonight, Steve. I didn't think I'd see you anymore, but what's the plan for when Steve leaves next week? What's the plan for a Borough manager?
We'll be naming an interim until we have a permanent
This,
candidate.
this is your plan or council's plan?
Council's plan.
I know the left hand doesn't always tell the right hand what's going on. So a lot of times I have to, hey, the word on the street sometimes is pretty viable. I like that. TriStar, do we have a running total with TriStar that he's on the payroll? They're on the payroll to hire different people at any time?
No. No, we had a relationship with them for temp services.
Well, what about the hiring of this, and I know I might be a little pretense here, but the hiring of the finance manager that was hired was given
Because we tried to, we tried to cast as wide a net as we could to find candidates, Frank. We didn't find the kind of candidates that we were looking for with just on Indeed and LinkedIn and the other places that we've gone. So we approached different temp agencies. Hey, do you have any candidates?
so you went to TriStar.
Among
I
others.
did, yes, Frank.
Yeah,
Yeah,
Yes,
I wish you would address that.
sure. So, just like I believe it was either the last council meeting or the one previous to this, you asked about, why don't we try advertising in different places? This is exactly in response to that. Not exactly that response, but we are casting a wider web. We are doing everything we can to find the most qualified candidates for these positions. If it happens to be a place like TriStar, by all means, we're going to utilize that. If it's Indeed, by all means, we're going to utilize that as well.
My understanding, when we used TriStar before, that cost us what, $15,000?
that was a different scenario.
In what way?
It wasn't
no,
TriStar.
It was that other guy.
It was,
Oh, it's not the same outfit.
it's his company, but we didn't do it through TriStar. We hired him, not the company.
Right, we didn't actually use TriStar as like a headhunter to actually go out and find somebody and advertise for us and do interviews for us and all that. TriStar is a staffing company itself. So they actually do their own internal interviews, their own internal things, find out people that are qualified there and present them to us if we are asking for it. We actually got a temp admin through TriStar as well.
So who this outfit that we went to didn't cost us nothing?
It would only cost us if we entered into a contract with that particular person.
So if we hire that person that they recommended, they will get a fee.
That would be
So you
correct.
have to have a contract with them then.
Well, we haven't made any kind of decision based on that at this point.
No, but if you hire that person,
If we hire that person, there's a couple
So-
different ways that it can actually go. We can go temporary for a long period of time, where they stay an employee of TriStar, or we could hire them directly and pay that fee, so to speak, to them for acquiring that person for us.
sounds like you'd have to have a contract if you're going to pay somebody something, if something turns out of that.
We will definitely have paperwork and a contract if it's approved to do the hiring, which is what's on the agenda for this evening.
Okay. And I guess my last question, Steve, will you be going on past your due date? Will you be staying on with the borough or not?
I know you would love that, Frank, but I'm not. So next
I just
time-
want to verify it, that's all. That's just, whatever you decide is your decision, it doesn't, I was just, you really surprised me that you were here tonight, but I almost lost the bet on it, but, yeah,
Kind of wish you would have lost that bet.
Truthfully,
Frank, but,
truthfully, yes.
It's part of my job, and I'll do my job.
yes. And I guess the other thing I wanted to say, I had to ask council, going back over the years, when Norm Meister was here, one of the things I liked what he said, he always brought it up, are you a part of the problem, or are you a part of the solution? And I like to ask every council member that. Are you a part of the problem, or are you part of the solution? Speak up. When you have something on your mind,
Solution.
spit it out.
Solution, as somebody who dealt with and worked with Norm for many years, Norm's biggest problem was he didn't realize that he reported to council didn't report to him. And that's the simplest way to put it.
I think,
As far as I'm going with it.
yeah, I'm sorry, I didn't catch that. All
I
right.
said, he did not want to realize or admit or handle himself publicly that he reports to council didn't report to him. He wanted to tell you how you should vote all the time. And if you didn't vote that way, he wouldn't hesitate to tell you.
Well, at least you're honest enough to say something on the
I'm honest.
subject.
You asked for honesty, you got it.
But I noticed, it seems like there's two sides to every story. Uh,
All right, we're past our 5 minutes.
Yeah, I was waiting for that.
Yeah, you're way past
I
your
knew I
5
would
minutes.
get that.
I was trying to be,
Oh, you're trying, yes, but other people I see stand up here go 10, 15 minutes. But now, to me, it's my 5 minutes. You've got to be a part of the solution too. You need to change your ways, Heather. All right, that's it.
If I
Word
could
on-
just-
Word on the
Frank,
street.
okay.
If I can leave on this note.
I would appreciate that you speak up, Steve.
So this will be my last council meeting, Frank. So
Okay.
if you want to play some back for the next one.
Yeah, I messed up. I really messed up on this one. I could have made a bundle.
Very good.
And glad to see you here. Hate to see you leave, really.
Thank you.
All right, is there anyone else that wanted to speak that did not get a chance to sign up? All right, minutes for approval, we don't have any of those. Presentation and acceptance of reports, community development.
I'd like to acknowledge the receipt of the zoning and planning reports for July 2025. Any questions?
Questions?
No.
None. I would like to acknowledge receipt of the July 2025 finance reports. It includes the statement of revenues and expenditures, the ACH report, and the AR aging report. Are there any questions? No? All right, safety and marketing.
Thank you, President Zink. I'd like to acknowledge receipt of the public safety reports for Columbia Borough Police Department for July 2025, Columbia Borough Fire Department for July 2025, Columbia EMOC report for July 2025, EMS report for July 2025, and acknowledge receipts of the codes compliance report and condemnation report for July 2025. If I could just take a moment, if you had a chance to look at the monthly fire chief's report, in July, there were 100 calls that our volunteer fire department ran. 100 calls. I know for a fact that there are a lot of volunteer fire companies out there that don't run that many calls in 3 months. We're doing it in 31 days. That's 3+ calls per day with our 50 some plus minus volunteers. It's a lot of man hours, 853 man hours in those calls. Those calls just weren't in Columbia. 44 of them were here in Columbia. 56 of them were outside the borough limits on mutual aid calls. It's a lot of activity. We got a very busy volunteer fire department. They deserve your respect and your thanks. I would like to personally thank them. Also wanted to thank Codes Department. If you look on the report, quick tickets were up double this month from last month. I know we're really limited on staff. To see that kind of activity and progress, just want to give you some accolades and proud of the pace that you're setting for yourself. That's all I have.
Any other questions on those? All right. Mayor Lutz, Chief Brummer.
Couple things. As we all know, school is back in session, and that means we have a lot of youngsters that are traveling to school in the mornings and coming home from school in the afternoons, and sometimes they get a little rambunctious and cut across the streets and whatever have you. Even though we do have crossing guards, sometimes they like to cut across the middle of the block, whatever have you. Just cautioning residents to be aware that school's back in and watch out for those kids. Things have been going pretty well this week. I think the chief told me where we block off Cherry Street, officers did have two people that tried to go around the barricades. Some people just can't understand what a barricade means. But I think they found out real quick from our officers being up there. On that note, I want to thank Chief Romer and the entire department. The reports I got over the past week or so, the guys have been rather busy, but busy being proactive, not reactive. And that's something we have been striving for a long time. And I credit council with having the foresight to see what was going to happen with the retirements and everything, and get our office, our staff up closer to where we should be. They did a speed detail out on Ironville Pike, and quite a few people lost some money that day. And that's another popular spot for our kids to cross now coming down Kinderhook Road. So I thank them for that. They've been running more details, and I think over the weekend they did a job on licenses and registrations. Quite a few people, so they're being proactive. They're out there working. I want to thank them for getting out there and doing the job. Chief, sure.
Last week, the Lions Club made a check presentation to the police department in the amount of $4,000. This was proceeds from the car show in June, and we were one of the recipients. That money is going to go a long way towards the purchase of new drone technology. So we're in the process of finalizing an order, and it should be placed. We're hoping to receive the new drone maybe in a couple of months. So we are very grateful to the Lions Club and their ongoing commitment to the community and the police department, public safety. So thank you.
Okay, at 7:32 p.m., we are exiting the regular council meeting. And at 7:33 p.m., we are entering the public hearing for ordinance 957 of 2025 related to zoning changes. Evan, do you want to run this?
Happy to. So this is an ordinance which I think has been much discussed at a couple of meetings regarding the table of uses changes that council has decided to make. This has gone through your local planning commission, it's gone through the Lancaster County Planning Commission, and has been advertised in accordance with the Pennsylvania Municipalities Planning Code. So at this point, I will open it up to council if you have anything that you would like to say about this ordinance.
Anyone?
Yeah, I will.
Okay.
Read this ordinance for the second time today. And I know it took a while to get this done, but I think you guys nailed it. From what I can see in there, everything is in there that we discussed, that we saw what was a problem and needed changed. I will be most happy to sign this.
Anyone have comments? Just,
I'd just say that there was a lot of meetings, like this was said,
Yep.
and I would also like to thank Mary Wickenheiser and the Planning Commission for their input into it as well, especially at the joint meeting that we had. It was very productive.
yes, and I just want to go on record to make sure that everyone is aware, this ordinance is changing the table of permitted uses for the light business zoning district. And it also is defining, it's giving a definition to data center. It's defining smoke shop and tattoo parlor. And it is also changing where, or it is adding the location for those uses into the table of permitted uses.
Package delivery.
Oh, and yes, and we defined package delivery distribution as well. And dimension requirements. Yes, thank you. I was going down through, just trying to make sure I hit it all. Mary, as part of the Lancaster, or as part of the Borough Planning Commission, did you have anything to add on this one?
I'm always too short. Just to say that I am glad to see that working together, Planning Commission, Borough Council, Solicitor, that we were able to put together what I think is the proper document to address the light business as well as making some of the changes that you noted. And what I found interesting is in the county planning that they kind of applauded us for making daycare an accessory use across the board. So in any of the zoning districts now, a child daycare center can be an accessory use, which should have been there before. Thank you.
And that's important for workforce housing, to allow for, childcare to be located where the businesses are.
Would you call this one big beautiful ordinance?
Maybe. Yes, Frank.
Probably this ordinance change probably does adhere to the amount of smoke shops that we are allowing and the places that they're going to be. Am I correct?
It does not give a number that is allowed. It stipulates where they are allowed to locate from this point forward. So any of them that are currently located in town can stay there. But going forward, if someone wants to open one, they have to do it in the highway commercial district.
Okay.
The same with tattoo parlor. Were there any other, anyone else that wanted to add comments for the hearing? All right, seeing none, then at 7:37 p.m. we are going to close the public hearing on ordinance 957 of 2025. And at 7:38 p.m. we are re-entering the regular Borough Council meeting. At this time, is there anyone that wanted to say anything on the ordinance outside of the hearing? Yes.
When will the new ordinance changes be updated and publicly available?
It should be on it will not be part of the codification right away in the codified ordinances, but the ordinance will be up there relatively quickly. I'm not sure how
Yes.
fast ECO gets it up, but it'll be
Up
pretty
there.
quickly.
Yeah, as soon as we submit
Couple
it,
of days
yeah,
probably.
it'll be up there.
And it is if you're able to get on, we can get you a copy for sure, but it is in this packet as well. Yep. The Borough Council meeting packet.
It's
Yeah,
online.
we can get you a copy of that for sure. Yep.
And then is the zoning map updated as well?
There aren't any.
There's
map
no changes to the map.
Zoning map. Yep.
Yep. All right. Any other questions, comments, or concerns on the ordinance? If there's none, then I will entertain a motion to adopt ordinance 957 of 2025 related to zoning changes.
Second.
I have a motion by Councilperson Kaufman, second by Councilperson Stoll, to adopt ordinance 957 of 2025 related to zoning changes. Could I have a roll call vote, please?
Councilperson Gazy,
Yes.
Councilperson Murphy,
Yes.
Councilperson Bernard,
Yes, would say here.
Council President Zink,
Yes.
Councilperson Fisher,
Here, yes.
Councilperson Stahl,
Yes.
Councilperson Kaufman.
Yes.
All right. No, he doesn't vote. All right, that passes. And thank you all so much. This has been a long time. And Leo, don't leave tonight without signing it.
I will certainly sign.
Thank you. Whew.
That was a big.
That was a months long lift. So, how you feel, Mary? Feeling good? Feel good. All right, action items. Did the ordinance. Next, could I have a motion to authorize the bill payments?
So moved.
Second.
Motion by Councilperson Kaufman, second by Councilperson Murphy, to authorize the bill payments. Are there any questions, comments, or concerns on this? Yes, Sharon?
Evan. I'm assuming that it's a couple months.
2 months, yeah.
Okay, so, because there's no dates or anything, so it's
Gotcha.
kind of hard for me to,
Yes.
I guess I can figure it out if I go back. But anyway, on page 2, I just had a question about it says there was an email about JG Environmental. Now, we're still referring to them as that, even though they sold, didn't they, to Shamrock?
That is probably my ignorance of what that new name was. Yes, sorry, I've been
No,
operating. Yes.
They,
That-
a place out of Texas or
I
something?
believe you're correct about that, yes.
We've
So-
just been referring to it as JG
Yeah, that's
Environmental.
just my-
Yeah, I do
Yeah.
too, but
Yeah.
I didn't know when I saw it here,
Yeah.
if, so did it was it a 29-year lease? I forget the number of years, but the long lease, did that just transfer over to Shamrock then?
It
How did that work?
will- Yes, it would be assigned to them. My hope is that a very long lease is not really necessary. We are hopefully very close to getting that property sold to JG Environmental through the CEDC.
Okay, so,
Or Shamrock, I guess. in
Yeah.
this case.
so Shamrock bought it like over a year ago, so that lease just rolled over, in other words, to
Correct.
them.
Yes.
And so right now they're subleasing is my understanding. And is that just permitted within the lease as well?
It is permitted within the lease, yes.
Okay.
Yep.
All right, thank you.
Any other questions on the bills?
On page 7, there was a revenue from Jansen Park Playground mulch. Was that just a reimbursement?
Yeah, everything, we pay it and they're paying, Jansen's paying us.
Okay.
Because of the way the grant works.
Sounds good.
Any other questions? No? All right. Seeing none, I have a motion by Councilperson Kaufman, second by Councilperson Murphy to authorize the bill payments. All in favor? Anyone opposed? All right, next, we're asked to authorize staff to contract with Capital Coating and for repair of the roof at 137 South Front Street for the cost not to exceed $75,000. I believe we talked about this before, that there were issues and there were leaks when we had those big heavy rains in the beginning of July. So we need to get the roof repaired.
Is this strictly the roof or is this the roof and interior?
This is just the roof. The interior is covered under insurance claims for the leaking of the roof. But
What I'm saying is, will this all be repaired at one time or
we need the roof or the interior.
both? Yeah.
So, no, the roof will be done first, and then we'll have the interior done. We're already underway with that, but we can't do the interior until the roof is done. So, according to Wilson too, the roofing company's like itching to get started, so this should happen relatively quickly.
And something you need to get done, obviously. You can't allow that to continue. Yeah.
In the interior work, it's going to be contracted, so that will hold up any kind of potential sale that would happen in that time. So that would follow through because it's an insurance claim.
So before we vote on this, because I have a hard time voting for this. As council, are we going to sell this property? We've been sitting on it, and then it came back with the lease, and we're trying to concerned with the lease that it would be a problem to sell it. But it's nickel and diming us. It's bad enough we're losing monthly rent money. On top of that, now we're paying these kind of dollars. So I really don't want to vote on this until we have a firm put it up on the market.
I have a question. Several weeks ago, about the property. They have a sweetheart lease.
Mhm.
Borough needs to get out from under that. One way to get out from under that is go to them and say, look, we're gonna put this property up for sale. You wanna buy it? If you're not willing to buy it, it's still gonna be up for sale. Someone else may buy it, and you may have a new landlord.
I think all our property owners that we're looking at selling the property with are aware that we're trying to sell. I don't think we need to go to them and say, hey,
Well,
Are you
I think you need to show them the courtesy that you're putting it up for sale, and actually put it up for sale. You're not gonna sell it until you put it up for sale.
that's my point.
Well,
Why
and I
fix the
think
roof?
And I
that,
think
We're selling it.
council should agree to put it up for sale.
well, I think the issue at this point is we have contracted with the CEDC. And I don't think that they have an appetite to market this and get someone in there with that subprime lease on.
Oh, we actually had a meeting with them
Oh,
a couple
did
weeks
we?
ago now, yes.
One sec, Wilson.
Yeah, and you at your next voting meeting will have they wanted a slightly modified agreement, so mark it on those changes now. At your next voting meeting on, I think it's September 9th, I will have that for you to approve, so that way they can start marketing it as just, I think at this point, based on what the information that we have, the lease isn't quite as big as an issue as we may have thought. So that's all I'll say on that, but the idea is to get this on the market, and they're okay doing that. They seem
And they're
to have
ready to go on
much
that.
more so than I've been led to believe in the past, is what I'll tell you.
So the lease isn't going to affect the sales greatly, but the lease does affect the borough greatly.
It does,
Yes.
no question about that.
And that's my point. Until we're ready to move on this, I don't want to spend the $75,000.
So if I can add on that, and I do understand your concerns, but there's also another larger issue. The fact that we still have a leaking roof.
Absolutely.
The insurance is gonna cover the interior stuff, however, we can't get the interior stuff done until we get the roof covered. And we're already open to an awful lot more liability with the leaking roof on our tenants' property and those things if we don't take care of it. So we are in kind of a,
It's pretty urgent. It's a pretty urgent need. I mean, the weather's been not as bad recently, but you're gonna denigrate your asset if you allow that roof to continue to leak. Because while we are gonna try to get it up for sale as quickly as possible through the CEDC, that's not something that's gonna happen overnight. And so if you wait several months to get that roof fixed, that could be, you could lose money potentially because of what might happen, damage that might happen to the interior of the building.
Yes. Wilson.
Any more that insurance, any more water damage inside of the building it's done due to the roof, not be covered by the insurance.
So then we're on the hook for even more. Yes, Frank.
Yes, I thought the issue here was the coating of the roof, and then we got into the sale of the building and everything else. Isn't anybody wondering, or isn't anybody going to ask how this got to be to this point? We lease out a building, and who's responsible to report when the roof is leaking before the ceiling falls down? Now we got another contract, and I understand it's going to be paid by insurance, but that's not the point. How did we get to this point that nobody caught this? Who dropped
Yeah,
it?
go ahead.
Who-
Let me add, several weeks prior to the major downpour rains that we had, several weeks prior to that, we actually had a roofing company inspect all the borough roofs, okay? They did not catch any kind of leaks that were in there. They did give us some preventive maintenance stuff, and we were planning to go through with that. What was happening on this was the leak was going through, it was swelling up all the paper insulation that was blown in there, so we didn't actually see a physical leak until that paper got so heavy that it brought the ceiling down. So it wasn't something that you can just look up and see, oh, there's a stain coming, it's something we need to take care of. Plus, we also did what we thought was the best as far as have a roofer get up there and give us an estimate or what we needed done at that time. We also had all that done. We did this roof, we did the Market House roof. We didn't do the Market House roof. We did this roof, we did,
41.
that's right. So we thought we did everything that we needed to do to ensure the fact that that roof was maintained. It caught us by surprise. It just was one of those things, right?
Yeah, it was our job, if we're going to lease out the building, it's our job to be in charge of that. And I thought we had somebody in charge of that to keep after that, to see that these problems happen. And I know what you're telling me, how the water can get in there with that insulation and stuff and drop that off. Is there any of our cost added to that, getting that insurance deal done inside? Or is we going to get enough money from the insurance company to cover that cost?
The insurance is gonna cover everything that happened inside. The drywall coming down, the mess that was there, the remediation, the putting the drywall back up. All the interior stuff is gonna be covered. Okay, because of this roof that we didn't know it leaked. And that's covered under the insurance.
Okay.
The fact that the roof leaked in itself is not covered. So we
Okay.
have to take care of the roof. They're gonna take care of the contents.
They never caused, the insurance isn't, they never pay for what caused it, but they pay for the damage from it. I know that from.
Yeah, from what I checked
Sad
on,
fact.
the money we're going to pay for the roof, we're going to recoup that when we sell it.
Yeah.
But that's money we could have used somewhere else. It's a darn shame it happens like that. Do you have a cost figure for doing the inside?
I think the last that was briefly, we were 40,
Sorry,
sorry,
now cost figure, their Serve Pro is doing as they go. So there's no final cost.
and we're having the remediation company work directly with the insurance carrier, so that's kind of all covered in that. There's not going to be any money coming out of public funds to pay for any of the interior or any of that.
Okay.
Any other questions?
Is this a coating over the entire roof?
We are just doing, we're just doing the section that was leaking.
Okay.
Okay.
How
So it
large
is-
of a section is that?
It is, I almost have to look at the square feet.
It's the main
Here, but it
upper
is the
building,
main-
isn't it?
It's the main upper building, so it's
Okay.
the largest part.
It's
of the building.
but it's that entire section will be coated?
Correct,
Okay.
it's the old section of the building. We did in fact we got two different quotes in this. Wilson solicited several different companies, but we actually got two different quotes. One of them came in at like $105,000, and this one was considerably cheaper with the same warranty, which was what we're looking at. Still gonna end up being a 20-year warranty when we go sell the building. Be a lot quicker, hopefully.
Capital Coding is a client of mine, so I won't be voting on this. I'll recuse myself. But if anybody has any questions about Capital Coding, if it's proper to do so, I can answer questions regarding the provider.
Any further questions, comments? Do I have a motion to authorize staff to contract with Capital Coating for repair of the roof at 137 South Front Street for a cost not to exceed $75,000?
So moved.
Second.
Motion by Councilperson Stahl, second by Councilperson Murphy to authorize staff to contract with Capital Coating for repair of the roof at 137 South Front Street for a cost not to exceed $75,000. All in favor? Aye. Anyone opposed? All right. Next, we have Resolution 2025-16 designated authorized signatories for the BIOS loan. We are trying to be proactive in this and anticipate that the Commonwealth Financing Agency is gonna say they need something from council authorizing people to sign to close the loan and also to request the draws. So this is our solution to make sure we have something in place to get that, to have that done. Again, they may not ask for it, but if they do, we want to be sure to have it ready to go. And we have Steve, me, Eric, Jack, and Jake on there because we figure that covers
Yeah.
anyone that.
Specifically with Steve leaving, it makes sense to
Right.
make sure we have people in place that are ready to go, if this happens after he has departed, so. Right.
Are there any questions on this? Could I have a motion to adopt resolution 2025-16?
So moved.
Second.
Motion by Councilperson Stoll, second by Councilperson Murphy, to adopt resolution 2025-16 designating authorized signatories for the BIOS loan. All in favor? Aye. Anyone opposed? Next, could I have a motion to authorize payment to SM Johns in the amount of $37,732.95 for the 800 block of Chestnut Street.
So moved.
Second.
I have a motion by Councilperson Stahl, and second by Councilperson Kaufman.
Murphy. Oh,
I
was he
heard
down?
Kaufman.
Okay, I heard him. I
That
didn't
was
hear
Oh.
Eric.
You heard me.
I heard you.
Yeah, well,
I heard Kelly too.
I didn't
know,
hear him,
I
so
kinda
I'm
heard
sorry.
Much, but the
I heard
one
you
I
guys
heard the most is,
after me.
yeah.
I'm sorry, I just didn't hear.
Well, marry me.
So,
Let's look in a second.
so this is the first payment. They put this in, and you have the information that Derek has recommended payment of this RFP. Are there any questions? Being none, I have motion by Councilperson Stahl, second by Councilperson Kaufman, to authorize payment number one to SM Johns in the amount of $37,732.95 for the 800 block of Chestnut Street. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Anyone opposed? And next, could I have a motion to authorize the processing of payment number one to Doug Lamb Construction in the amount of $117,381.13 for the 9 and 1000 block of Walnut Street.
So moved.
Motion by Councilperson Stahl, and second by Councilperson Kaufman to authorize the processing of this payment. I should note, we are saying authorizing the processing of the payment because this is a CDBG project. We don't send a check to them, but the authorization has to come to us to go to the redevelopment authority to pay that bill. So that's why it's worded that way. Are there any other questions, comments, or concerns on this one?
Just a question, Jake, they only have a couple little things to go. They think they'll be done within the next week or so, or?
Yeah, I would say within the next week.
Okay.
We got like, I think, 2 more concrete floors.
Yeah, it's sidewalk,
So
yeah.
the 1000 block this week, and then there's some topsoil restoration.
Yeah, blacktop looks great.
So I would say within the next week.
Was, I didn't realize when we were getting all the information for that there were several trees they took down on that street. Are they putting ones in, or is the tree commission putting new ones in their fall planting, or how's that working?
I can reach out to the shade tree commission. It's gonna be for that property.
Okay.
We didn't realize at the time, but when we put that curb and stuff out, it's like, that trees were.
Yeah, I kind of figured that's what happened. But I was driving up through and I'm like, oh my gosh, it looks so bare. We need them
And
street
there's
trees.
also in the 1000 block, there's 2 of the big trees that we do not want to hit, so you'll see they have those steel plates
Yeah. Yeah. Well, I'll tell you, it looks good, especially the northwest corner between 9 and of 10th Street, where that curb was all flayed out. It looks so good. The Sharon's curb looks so good. All right. Did we vote on this one? No. I didn't think so because I didn't have it crossed off. I have a motion by Councilperson Stahl and a second by Councilperson Kaufman to authorize the processing of payment number 1 to Doug Lamb Construction in the amount of $117,381.13 for the 9 and 1000 block of Walnut Street. All in favor? Aye. Anyone opposed? New business. We are asked to consider approval to hire Deborah Leclerc as a part-time crossing guard beginning at the non-uniform contract rate of $17.26 per hour and contingent upon successful completion of the required background check, medical exam, and drug screening. Questions, comments?
I have a question.
Yes.
Jack, do they use between 10 and 20 hours a week for crossing guard?
Some weeks. So the maximum would be 20, it's 2 hours a day, or I'm sorry, it's 10 primarily. It's, would be 5 days a week, 2 hours.
So-
a day, yes.
My question is, we're voting on 10 to 20 hours. Does that mean they're guaranteed 10 hours?
They're not guaranteed 10 hours. It just depends on the availability. Like, for example, next week, September 1st is a holiday. So they'll only work 4 days that week.
That's my point.
Yes.
So we have it stated as up to 20 hours?
Yeah, it should have been 5 to 10, to be honest with you. I didn't catch that.
I think this is just an approximation for your education, so that way you know approximately how many hours they're working.
I
don't think it
understand.
ties us into, as Borough, anything that you're guaranteeing anybody as far as hours.
Okay.
So it's 5 to 10. And in this case, Deb will be working just the afternoon at 9 to Walnut Street. So we have had challenges, as all of you are aware, with filling those positions and started looking at the neighborhoods and maybe finding individuals that live near the actual crossing, right, to see if there's any interest. So, she does. So no excuse for being late for work.
Yes, Frank.
Yeah, I can't let this go. You take a lady like Deb with the amount of years she put into the borough, the experience she has, and this is probably her call, but I hate to see somebody like that with that kind of education of the borough going and being someone just, going to do what she's going to be doing. It's just a shame to see that talent go to waste, but it's probably her call, so.
She retired.
She's also on planning commission.
I know,
Yeah.
I understand that it's her call to put in for that, but it's just a shame to see that kind of experience end up on the street corner.
Right. I looked at it as a blessing. She knows that we struggle with filling those positions, and Deb is very community oriented and was willing to step up to help out.
Okay.
Also, I was thinking, I may consider used car sales when I retire next May. So,
Wow.
She, she thought about it, gave it great consideration. She is retired. There will be some times when we will have to fill in for her, but like I said, she is committed to Columbia Borough.
Yeah, I
And,
understand that.
Yes, so, we're grateful to have her.
And like I said, it's her call, but it's just a shame. It's like all the background experience she has. Thank you.
Frank, that experience is not going to waste because she's a very valuable member of the planning commission.
I understand that.
And our children and families are going to benefit by having her.
I'm sorry, say it again.
Our children and our families are going to benefit by having her be a crossing guard.
Okay. I apologize to council. I just spent $5,000 for hearing aids, and I got to get them adjusted somehow so I know how I'm going to be using them. But thanks anyway.
Do you have them in today, Frank? Because this weekend you were talking to me and you're like, I got these new hearing aids and you didn't have them in.
I just have to get adjusted to them.
Does anyone have a problem voting on this one tonight?
No.
No? Do I have a motion to approve the hire of Deb LeClaire as part-time, 5 to 10 hours per week, crossing guard? All right, and a second?
Second.
I have a motion by Councilperson Brigard, second by Councilperson Kaufman, to approve to hire Deborah LeClaire as part-time crossing guard at the non-uniform contract rate of $17.26 per hour, contingent upon successful completion of background check, medical exam, and drug screening. All in favor? Aye. Anyone opposed? Next, we have one item from Harb. We're asked to consider approval of the certificate of appropriateness for the tenant at 301 Cherry Street to approve the addition of a 36-inch hanging storefront sign and window lettering. Harb recommended approval with no conditions. Any questions?
I think it looks tasteful.
Very tastefully done sign.
Very tasteful.
Very well
Thank
done.
you. That's all my wife.
Mhm.
Yeah, I think
I let her take reins on that. I said, I'll do the cooking, you decorate.
Tasty food, tasteful sign.
Well, as I told Andrew Friday night at the ribbon cutting, what he has done to that building has made that whole corner in that neighborhood a lot more attractive. And hopefully,
Exactly.
with what you did, it follows suit to some of the other properties.
Inspires others.
Yeah, well, like I said, I'm glad that you came out and seen us, and I thank for Mac for coming out. It was a good time. We stayed open a couple hours later, but it was good.
Nice.
So thank you.
I'd just like to say congratulations on your business,
Thank
and
you.
I hope it's
appreciate it.
more than prosperous.
Thank you.
Are there any questions, comments, or concerns? Does anyone have a problem voting on this one tonight? No? All right. Do I have a motion to approve the certificate of appropriateness for 301 Cherry Street to approve the addition of a 36-inch hanging storefront sign and window lettering?
So moved.
Motion by Councilperson Stahl, second by Councilperson Brigard. I know I got that. To approve the COA for 301 Cherry Street. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Anyone opposed? Nope. All right. I can sign this now. Yep. There we go. Did you want to sign it? Make it official.
Well, we got a chairman, so.
That's where I got it.
On Friday, I go get a shot.
Mm.
I had to tell them that, I had a shot in May, and then August, I did surgery in November.
Mm.
I'm not a professional athlete, I gotta pay bills.
All right, thank you.
Thank you.
Next, we were asked to submit a letter of support for the National Association of Watch and Clock Collectors because they're applying for a grant to the High Foundation. And we are being asked to support their grant application. The letter that Steve's proposing is in here. Are there any questions, comments?
Do you know what they want the grant for?
Yeah. Let's see here.
Audio and visual
Yeah.
equipment, carpets and lighting.
Yeah, they're upgrading the,
I know they went for air conditioning and a roof the last time.
yep,
That was our capital.
yeah. And yeah, this one is, this one's for the theater area. Are there any questions? Anyone have a problem voting? No. All right, do I have a motion to authorize staff to submit a letter of support for NAWCC in the grant application to the High Foundation?
So moved. Second.
Motion by Councilperson Stahl, second by Councilperson Kaufman, to authorize staff to submit a letter of support for NAWCC in the grant application to High Foundation. All in favor?
Aye.
Anyone opposed? Next, we're asked to approve to hire Brian Christensen for the position of finance manager at a rate of, you said you're changing this, correct? Up to $75,000 a year, contingent upon completion of background check and drug screen. Questions, comments? I believe Brian
Madam
is
President,
here.
yes.
Yes, Brian is present.
I think, right.
Hi,
would you mind
Brian.
coming forward? Thank you.
Good evening.
Steve, did you want to make any statements about the process?
The process.
Chime in as well.
Go ahead, Jack.
You
You're
want me to?
good. You're good with this. Yeah, yeah. This one's
You
you.
know, okay. So, I guess I just wanted to welcome Brian first and foremost. Happy to have you here this evening. It was through quite an extensive process involving many, especially Paula. Paula did a tremendous amount of work, Steve, myself, countless reviews of resumes, right, Paula? Numbering 50 to 100?
At least 50.
Yes, okay. Probably anywhere from 10 to 20 interviews, right, during that period? Yes. And Brian ultimately stood out to us. We were very impressed. We had multiple interviews with him. We had our Brown's accounting firm representative sit in on the second interview. And some of the things that really stood out, Brian is, very genuine. We spoke to a couple of administrative staff from his previous employer, and they couldn't say enough good about him, just about his honesty, his integrity. Brian made it very clear, and if you look at his resume, he's sort of a change agent. So he looks at, once he gets into his role in the finance world, he looks at ways that he can improve things, make it better. And, that really impressed us. So we would ask all of you to consider his hiring this evening.
I'd like to add to, out of all the interviews that I've ever done, I think Brian was the most prepared. I haven't seen somebody come to an interview, know so much about the borough as they walk in that's not a borough resident, ask the appropriate questions that you would think that a potential new hire would ask. It was very, very refreshing that
Thank you.
did that. And I think he'll be a really good fit for the borough.
You answered my only question. I was going to ask you, what brought you here, what interests you about Columbia, and if you came prepared, you obviously know.
I live in Mountville.
Okay.
So it's, my wife and I come to Columbia frequently. And when I saw the opportunity, I was just like, well, let me learn more about it. And me learning more about it was some of what you just shared.
Very good. Appreciate it.
I wasn't part of the interview process. I read all the synopsis of the interviews, especially the wonderful piece that you wrote out, Chief Plummer, to where you ferret it out as much as you could, contacting former employers and everything. And I was really impressed. I must say, I've seen a lot of them and I've seen us going through some trial and error, but this is an impressive interview.
Any other questions, comments?
Do you have any
Yeah.
questions of us as well, as a council?
No, that's one thing I didn't do a whole lot of research on, just because it didn't impact that directly. But I know that President Zink is the financial
Yeah.
lead on that. So, yeah, so
We'll
that's,
be working.
yes. Yes.
Yeah.
I already got an issue for you, so.
Right in the door.
Very good.
When do you estimate that he'll be started?
So upon your approval, we're going to obviously get the contract, the offer and everything together, and we'll communicate that with the application that we have. Brian said he's available immediately, so I'm thinking by 1 o'clock tomorrow.
Okay, that sounds good. We'll hold you to
No,
that.
we would like to get him on board
Okay.
as soon as we can.
So 1 o'clock tomorrow. You heard that, 1 o'clock tomorrow.
Yes, Frank.
Pending some of the background and
I think the additional operations experience is really critical in this role. Learning a new finance system, Edmunds versus Excel versus ABC 123 not net or whatever you're using is one thing. I think that knowing how things work, how they could work better with your Six Sigma experience as well. I think
that changed my career.
I think that that's going to be kind of like added value in our hire. And I don't know if we necessarily, I hope it's true. I don't know if we can really estimate how valuable that kind of experience will be for us.
What that taught me was you can actually make a difference in your coworkers' work life. Because if you understand what some of the issues are, you can put some things into place. You have to understand it first. And then this is the DNIC process. And I've had the experience working at our dominant, going through that training, where you make the job actually easier for the employees to do. It's tough to get there. But once you get to the end, it's like, all right, well, just stand here and look at this.
I think everyone that I know that has gone through the Six Sigma has said the same thing, that it has changed their career.
It changed my thinking,
Yeah.
but just common day things. Driving my car, like, go fast, speed up, jam on the brake. It's, all right, let's keep a steady pace.
Yes, Frank.
Yes. I don't have the experience to say yes, no, or what. So I took the resume, if that's what you want to call it, from TriStar to a couple of people I know. And one of their points that stuck out was there was no connection with municipal experience whatsoever. Everything was related to transportation. Now, how long will it take a person to come in here and learn the duties that goes with this? How many years or whatever will it take to get a person online? We have hired people like this before, and once they seen what the magnitude of that was, it was goodbye. They left her on their own. They didn't have to be fired.
Frank,
If you hire, damned if you don't.
Exactly. I just want to say that it's interesting that this came up, that this is happening now, because last week I received an email from PSAB, and they are offering their municipal budgeting and finance series starting in 2 weeks. So he will be taking that right away. And that's a really good class.
How long of a class is that?
It's 5 sessions. It's 5 sessions, 5 hour-and-a-half sessions.
5 hour and a half session.
Yes. It's pretty in-depth. It's a good series. I took it.
So we're saying that if we hire this person, we're going to send him to school right away so he can learn the borough's.
No, I'm saying that that's an introduction to help with understanding the way, municipal accooung is different from the public sector.
Yeah, and that's just the thing that I brought up, that you're hiring a person that doesn't have this. Now, right away, we're going to send him to school or whatever. And if you're hire him, hey, more power. I hope he works out. But I just seen him come and go, and I've seen the people that the borough hired that.
Frank, the management staff here has a really good plan of how to bring him up to speed with anything. And maybe Jack would want to share that with you.
Yes, Frank, we have discussed it with Brian. So we have laid out a plan where Brian is going to work closely with our consultant, Brown's Accounting, to get up to speed. That was one thing that stood out to the accountant from Brown's during the interview. He is very confident in the skills that Brian possesses. It's just a matter of learning a different type of accounting, which is municipal accounting. So we are going to do everything.
It is different. Yeah, go ahead.
We are going to do everything we can to support him, and we have laid out a plan for him as well. In addition to the course that Heather discussed, we look to have him shadow some accounting or finance professionals at other municipalities, as well as working with our accounting firm. So he will have the support that he needs to be successful in his role.
Okay. Can I ask him a question?
Sure.
Yes. Did you know anybody personally here in the borough before you applied for this? And where do you live, you say? Oh, Mountain. Okay. All right. Thank you.
That's Frank. We'll be dealing with him too. Yes, Sharon.
I wanted to ask the chief, I thought I heard you say that Paula reviewed some of the resumes that came in.
Paula helped with the process, yes.
Okay, I was just curious because as a code manager, and no disrespect to her, but I know she has a lot on her plate. I'm wondering how she ended up with this. I mean,
I can address that.
okay.
So in any of the hiring that we were doing within the borough, I was bringing it to all the managers of the borough. Okay, so we know more than most as to what role is being played within the borough. So we took it upon ourselves to have conversations on, I would look at a resume saying, I think that this is pretty good. What are your thoughts? And then we did all that rather than just unilaterally one person saying, this is the one I think we should interview. So,
I understand that, but my question would be though, if you're hiring a finance manager, why would a code manager review the resumes? It just didn't make sense to me because.
I would have policed you.
Well, exactly. Do we have human resource? Do we have, I mean,
No.
No, we don't.
but we did.
That was the finance person.
Oh, they were sharing that.
Yes, they do human resources
So
as well.
didn't we have a council person that was on like a personnel committee, or personnel assigned?
We did not do that because hiring the management and hiring staff is the responsibility of the borough manager. The last time we did it was because we didn't have a borough manager either, so we had the hiring committee.
Okay. All
And
right.
Sharon, as the lead of personnel, they kept me very well informed
Okay.
as to the applicants that they were reviewing. And I was able to take that information and relay it to council. So we were aware of every step that they were taking.
And with regard to TriStar, then we did not pay like we did before, the 15,000, we didn't pay for this.
We did not
was
pay at
something
this point.
Okay.
So we have a
That,
couple
that, yeah, that was a
It was
different
different.
arrangement.
So there's a couple different things that we could actually do when, if it's approved to go ahead and make an offer to Brian. So
Okay.
we can do a, payout right to where Brian immediately becomes a employee of the borough.
Mhm.
We can keep him to where he's still an employee of TriStar and we put him through a, probationary period through them and then bring him on full time. So there's some things that we still need to work out through TriStar. It will be at a cost.
Okay, that's what I wonder. Above and beyond his salary, it's a
That is
cost.
correct.
Okay.
But we're gonna still make that determination whether or not we wanna bring him on directly or if we wanna feather it out for a period of time. But that'll be communication between us and Brian after we get, and if we get the approval.
Okay, well, thanks for explaining it, and good luck to you.
Yeah, I mean, I know there's probably not a lot of people in here that are, Todd, maybe some others are familiar with Six Sigma, but it's no walk in the park to get that certification, let me tell you. So I went through part of it years ago when I worked at Wyeth down in Marietta before they closed in the middle of the program, so I never got to finish it. But there is a lot of work that's detailed in that, and to have that experience brought on board, and he'll be able to look at our programs, critique what things can be done better. In the long run, it's going to really be a positive. Trust me.
Any other questions? Anyone have a problem voting tonight?
No.
Do I have a motion to approve to hire Brian? To hire Brian Christensen for the position of finance manager at a rate not to exceed $75,000 per year, contingent upon completion of background check and drug screen.
So moved.
Second.
I have a motion by Councilperson Fisher and a second by Councilperson Stahl to approve to hire Brian Christensen for the position of finance manager at a rate of up to $75,000 a year, contingent upon completion of background check and drug screening. All in favor?
Aye.
Anyone opposed? All right, and finally, we have, we're asked to consider this resolution 2025-17, authorizing the adoption of the 2025 Lancaster County Hazard Mitigation Plan. Per state law, the Disaster Mitigation Act of 2000, it requires all municipalities to have a hazard mitigation plan. In Lancaster County, the county does one for the whole county, and then each municipality is asked to adopt that as well, so that what this does is it saves us from having to do our own separate. We just adopt the county plan. This is the resolution saying that we are adopting the county hazard mitigation plan rather than doing it ourselves. Are there any other questions, comments, concerns on this one? Does anyone have a problem voting on this one tonight? Could I have a motion to adopt resolution 2025-17, authorizing the adoption of the 2025 Lancaster County Hazard Mitigation Plan?
So moved. Second.
Motion by Councilperson Stahl, second by Councilperson Kaufman to adopt resolution 2025-17, authorizing the adoption of the 2025 Lancaster County Hazard Mitigation Plan. All in favor?
Aye.
Anyone opposed? All right, staff reports, comments, and announcements. Mr. Gable.
Not too much to report tonight. We are continuing to work on BIOS loan. There's been some additional paperwork that they asked for. It took me a little while to find it regarding the bond of 2021 refinance. So I was able to go back through the closing documents that we had. There was something that apparently was never sent up to DCED then, and it should have been. So I got that to them this afternoon. So we're working through that. It's a process, but we are getting there.
Hopefully soon, because they're
Yes.
gonna be
I
put in a
understand
draw
that. Trust me,
soon.
it is, like I said, it is priority 1A, 1B, and 1C right now. So that will get done. The other things we're slowly working towards, that sale of the wastewater treatment plant. Norfolk Southern is seemingly dragging their feet. Mayor, I may ask you to contact who you've talked to at,
Yeah.
Representative
They're
Slucker's
still
office.
dragging.
Yeah, they've had the plan for the easement area, which is what the last thing they requested for probably 2 months at this point. And the attorney for JG Environmental / Shamrock has pinged them at least twice that he's copied me on, and I haven't seen a response. So I might forward that on to you so you can.
Yeah, if you would, I will send them a note.
Okay.
And I will CC that also to Congressman Smoke.
Okay, perfect.
And have we determined what the market rate rent should be for that whole building now that they're subletting it?
I'm working on that, trying to find some square footage figures and things like that.
Yeah, because
Absolutely.
they're gonna be making money
Yes.
on our property.
Yep, I'm pulling that together and I will get you something on that. Yep, and Kelly, I am working on that legislation. I promise it is
No,
not falling off the back
no
burner.
problem.
We will get that.
Those other things are a little more important.
Yep, that's all I have this evening.
Derek isn't here, Secretary Treasurer.
I have nothing further to add.
Boards, commissions, and committees. There's no upcoming meetings. In your packet, you have approved minutes for Parks and Rec from June 12th, Parks and Rec from July 10th, and HARB from July 9th. I also want to note here, we have an opening on Planning Commission due to the resignation of Nathan Roach. So we do need someone on Planning Commission. If you know anyone, have them come out. We would like to get that board filled. And then Borough Council comments, Councilperson Stahl.
Yeah, just, Jake mentioned the progress on Walnut Street, Chestnut Street is looking like September. And then Jake, do you know where we're at on the park, Jansen, where they're at as far as opening that?
You mean Maple?
Sorry, Maple.
Oh, Maple, the last I heard, they were looking at starting next week.
Okay.
So pretty confident that
Do we know how long that's going to take?
I'm gonna say sometime October, November timeframe, and a lot of that's just because
You could shoot for the end of September.
And then it would just be one that, it would be kind of like a groundbreaking and not we're trying to coordinate something to get DCNR, the state DCNR secretary to come in if we can coordinate with Jansen's, because their project is finished. We figure if we have two projects to show them, we have a better chance of getting the secretary down. So, yeah, it'd just be like a
We have a week or two.
Yeah, we have
See how
time
it
to,
goes.
yeah.
I didn't see one call come in yet for that, so I would assume that'll be usually the first thing. I haven't seen it.
We need to do it early October.
Yeah. Councilperson Murphy.
Nothing else that I've received. Thank you.
Nothing. Councilperson Hoffman, Councilperson.
Yes, I would like to thank Paula and Steve and Jack for the very good job you did going through all of those applicants and bringing us such a qualified candidate. So thank you so much for all your work. And Brian, congratulations on being approved for hire. We hope you accept. So thank you.
Ditto.
Text my God.
I wanted to give everyone an update. I spoke to Rick Brenneman today about McGinnis. They should have the deforestation portion completed by the end of this week. They are starting to do the excavation and get that going. It also appears that they'll be doing a stone entrance off of Manor Street right there at 11th so that we have a better entry and exit off of the property. And at this point, there is nothing to indicate we're not on track for completion at the 12 weeks like the contract stated. So that's moving. And I think that is it. The announcement of next meeting, 7 p.m. on Tuesday, September 2nd. Council will hold a workshop. This evening, we will be adjourning to executive session to discuss personnel matters related to replacing staff. Do I have a motion to adjourn?
So moved.
Second.
Motion by Councilperson Kaufman, second by Councilperson Stahl to adjourn at 8:37 p.m. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Anyone opposed? We're adjourned.
Closer than you are. Go on. Ladies before gentlemen.
Thanks.